I'm Doug and welcome to Doppler's Gear Garage. If you're a pedalboard fanatic, this video is for you. We're talking about the Earthboard, which I refer to as a pedalboard ecosystem. Has everything you need to be able to set up a sophisticated board if you need to, super fast. I put this board together in less than a half an hour. None of the usual spaghetti underneath the bottom of the board. There's a huge amount of power on tap. I'm powering my Strymon pedals, my Eventide H9, the Boss GT1000 core, just in case you need some sort of amp modeling device or you want to run all the stuff in the loop. And I'm doing that all off of a battery. There is a power supply if you want. It's got a nice 10-foot long cable, which is actually what I use here in the studio because the power here is clean, but not every place that you play has clean power. It's incredibly sophisticated, but yet incredibly easy to use because of the component-based nature in which it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this video down into a couple of sections. In a moment, I'm going to go over an overview about what the components are and how they work together. Then we'll take a deeper look at each of those components. There's one key feature that separates these pedal boards from all others, and that's the fact that they do not use a centrally located power brick. Now, why does that matter? If you think about your average pedal board, you kind of are underneath the pedal board. You're trying to find that perfect spot to mount your power brick. You're hoping that all your runs are long enough. You've got all the spaghetti underneath the board. As you've got the board upside down, pedals are potentially flipping off the top. It's kind of a mess on the top and the bottom because once you flip the board right side up, you're then kind of going, which run went where? And again, there's all the spaghetti underneath. There are a couple of things that have been done on the board and the pedal side of things that are, I hate using the phrase game changer, but it's kind of a game changer. So here's the deal. The pedal board itself features a pair of steel rails. In turn, those conduct power into what's called a gravity boot. And these gravity boots feature 4 earth magnets, which is how the boot stays connected to the rails there, but it's also how power comes up into the gravity boot. And in turn, these gravity boot tethers run the power from the gravity boot up to your pedal. So literally, adding a new pedal is about, I don't know, that fast, and then connecting an audio cable. And there are 3 lengths of audio cables you can get with this system. Obviously, you could use any cables, but these guys are great. I've been using them for a year. I haven't had one break. They're available in 4, 6, and 8-inch runs, and it means you don't have any excess cable underneath the board again. I hate spaghetti underneath the board. You're not coiling them using cable ties. You know the drill. So here's the thing. That economy is really huge. Now, certain pedals like the Eventides and the Strymon pedals require a different boot and a different tether, but that's kind of the genius of the system. You literally just apply the appropriate type of boot and tether, and you're good to go. So here's the other thing, is the pedal board itself has got some great features that we're going to talk about next. So there are currently 2 pedal boards in the Earthboard line. This is the EB2, and at the top of the video there, you saw me using the EB2 SR, a single row pedal board. But feature for feature, they're nearly the same. On the lower left and right-hand sides of the board there, you've got ports for running something like the Lifeline tether, which you can use for something like the GT1000. Plenty of power on tap. You can also use for something like a wah-wah, or you can connect 2 different Earthboards together. Very cool. I like to use the port on the left-hand side when I'm using the AC wall wart. Again, that's got a 10-foot cable. That's pretty much how I always power it. And you want to make sure that if you're going to use the wall wart, that is to say AC power supply, you're not going to connect the battery at the same time. Speaking of which, there are 2 ports there that you connect the outputs of the battery there. There are 2 batteries available. This is the more highly powered one. They work great. And then there is something called the cross-board patch cable, which I think is the coolest feature of the board. So basically, the output of my Klon goes into this jack right here. It's a 1/4-inch jack. And then inside the board, there's a cable that connects it to this jack here, which goes into the first pedal on the top row. They have thought of all this stuff so you don't have to kind of have a cable going from the lower row to the upper row. It's literally built into the frame of the board, and I love that. So let's take a moment and talk about the gravity boots. All the gravity boots feature a number of common features. 4 earth magnets in the 4 corners. The lower 2, that is to say the ones that align with the bottom side of the pedals that's facing you, are color-coded red. It's super important not to flip that around upside down, or else you'll potentially fry your gravity boot. That would be bad. All right, the other thing is when you separate it from the pedal, you'll notice that the pedal side of the gravity boot is covered in loop Velcro. makes it super easy to put together one of these boards. All right, that is where the majority of the similarities stop. Chances are most of the pedals that are on your pedal board, you're just going to use the standard gravity boot and the tether, which by the way terminates in red right down here. Now, for digital pedals, you're going to want to use an ISO boot, and those are available in either 9, 12, 15, or 18 volts. When you're utilizing a pedal like the H9, you're going to want to use a 12 volt ISO boot, but you're also going to want to use a reverse polarity tether, which is color-coded black down here. So you kind of have those visual cues. Now, there's one other type of gravity boot I haven't mentioned, and that's the dummy boot. And that makes it so when you've got a wider pedal, you can basically have two boots underneath, one providing power and the other making it so it's stable. All right, let's talk about the cables. As I mentioned before, these cables are available in 4, 6, and 8-inch lengths, and they have this nice flat top there, if you will, a pancake top there, that makes it such in case you need to get two pedals close together, you can. And so as I was routing this board together, the lower row of pedals is in mono, the upper row of pedals is all in stereo. And the crossboard patch cable that's built into the board, of course, makes all of that super easy, so there's not a cable running across the board itself. And this right here is all stereo runs, and kind of that fine balance between being flexible but not too loosey-goosey makes it so the cables just kind of want to sit where they want to sit. And that's really nice. And again, the great thing about this board is all the stuff that you need to get to is sitting on the top of the board. So if you want to reroute something, you can. And the lengths of these cables are a key contributing factor to making that as easy as it is. So there are two core Earthboard systems that you can add components to if you so wish, both of which include the 10,000 milliamp battery, a dummy boot so you can mount that battery to your pedal board, as well as a battery tether. They also include the necessary audio cables. All right, the smaller system is based around the EB2 SR, the single row board. And that also includes 4 gravity boots and 4 tethers. All the audio runs you need to get that up and running, and that's $414 US. The larger system features 8 gravity boots and, you guessed it, 8 tethers, and again, all the audio cables you need to get that up and running, and that is $552 US. Now, I would also suggest considering using the larger battery. You could upgrade to that for $50. Having both batteries, the smaller one for the smaller board and the larger one for the bigger board, is kind of how I roll with this. And I've just had such great luck with these. And I would also suggest getting at least one of the adapters. Great to have a backup plan there. By the way, the batteries, of course, come with all the necessary stuff you need to charge them. So here's the thing. Some of you are kind of going, man, that sounds a little expensive. First of all, the Earthboard is manufactured in the United States. It is not cheap to make things here in the United States, but it's a choice about quality. The other thing is, speaking of quality, I've had 0 component failure. That's cables. Nothing has gone wrong. It has been flawless. I've been using this stuff for a year, and I swear by it. So here's the thing. The ability to power up all this stuff easily, and yes, sometimes you might need to buy some additional ISO boots, so on and so forth, but it basically solves all the problems that I've got with a pedal board. And if I need to throw together a new pedal board, whether it's a fly date or for a demo, it just makes it so easy. For me, it's worth every penny. All right, for more information about the Earthboard, please visit Earthboard Music. If by chance you haven't subscribed to my channel, would like to invite you to do so. Also, don't forget to ring the bell so I can let you know when more videos are going to go online. Also, I do a live stream every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific that streams here, as well as on my Facebook, facebook.com/Doug Doppler. In any case, thanks so much for checking out this video. Again, for more information about the Earthboard, please visit earthboardmusic.com. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.